I'm Angelo John Lewis of the Sacred Inclusion Network, and I'm here with my partner in crime, Ian Lewis, who's our assistant director. He may graduate to associate one day, who knows. And we're pleased to welcome Harrison Snow, and I'll just tell you a little bit about Harrison. He's the director of something called Change Dynamics International, and has been helping government, corporate, and nonprofit clients in 28 countries. He helps them manage change, develop leaders, and enhance organizational performance. He's the author of 4 books, including his most recent one, Confessions of a Corporate Shaman, Healing the Organizational Spirit. And as I've told Harrison and others of you, I've known a little bit about constellation work for some years, and it's interesting that it has so many spin-offs. If you are involved in men's work and have done something like the Mankind Project, for example, they do carpet work, which essentially is a type of constellation work, shadow work. So I'm very delighted to hear from Harrison and see what he has to share with us today. Harrison, welcome to the Sacred Inclusion Network.
Well, thank you, Angelo. And just, hey, it's really great to be here with you all. I feel excited. You talk about what do you feel? I feel excited. And as I feel into our field here, as our collective feels like a really good field. So and that's wonderful. We're going to have, I know I'm going to have a good time. I hope you have a good time. But I'm curious, how many people have a meditation practice? Anybody meditate? At least 1, 2, great, 3, 4. All right, good. About everybody meditates to some degree. Well, that's great. I got interested in spiritual development at 16 years old. I read Aldous Huxley, the Perennial Philosophy. And I was really curious, okay, this sounds fantastic, all this bliss and realization. How do you get there? Because he didn't say much about that. It sort of happens, somebody wakes up and lives a life on a new level of beauty, and yet, what is there any cause and effect? Well, about 4 years later, hitchhiking across Canada, of all places, I ran into some people who were practicing meditation and learned from them where I could find a teacher. And when I went back to college, started my meditation practice. So that was like 50 years ago. And I've been at it ever since. But what we're going to look at here is I'm going to give you some of the ideas that I've gleaned from my own experience in 50 years, but really also come from all the literature, all the teachers. These are universal ideas. And then we'll do some exploration of it. And it's, don't worry too much about the how, because we don't want to use the mind. Mind really doesn't help us here. Our intellectual conceptualizations, just like in that book, Aldous Huxley's book, it's not a mental process. So they really can't tell you how, but what they can do, the teachers do, the meditation teachers, is guide you in an experience that helps you realize the level of awareness that they're looking to embody, looking for you to embody and to notice and to act from. Hey, Jen, glad you made it. Thanks for showing up. And hi, Tamar, glad you're here. So we're great to have a few more people with us. So let me throw up some slides, and feel free to stop me anytime if you have an explanation. And then we'll go into something experiential, because again, the conceptual really isn't, can help orient us, but what we're doing is beyond the conceptual. So we just send our mind on a coffee break and just be simple, be innocent, and go through the process I'll guide you through. So let me see if I can put this up on the screen, share screen. Okay, can people see this? Good, all right, good, glad you can see it. Well, Patanjali is one of the great seers in the Vedic tradition, and he wrote something called Yoga Sutras probably 5,000 years ago. And they had it all figured out back then. Probably, who knows when they, this is when it got set down in writing, and maybe many millennia before then. But what we're talking about is you have yourself with your mind But that's not enough. The mind is one operating system, and we get stuck in that operating system, right? It's like your own little computer. It's not connected to the internet. So what you have to access is what's on your computer that you put on since you owned it. But there's a whole nother level of operating system that's beyond the mind. And if we get the mind out of the way, then you become established in that nature, that self. That's a much expanded operating system, just like if you were connected to the internet. You've got a lot more information available to you. So let's look at that concept that there's really two operating systems, and spirituality has always been about how do we get to and incorporate the operating system that's expanded awareness, that's blissful, that's peaceful, rather than being in the operating system that's afraid, that's striving for something, that's avoiding something, that's always feels like somehow a little bit unstable and at risk, which is much more the ego-based operating system, okay? So that's the big question in spirituality. And some people would say the material world, people, of course, since the Industrial Revolution have said, well, there's just really the material world. There's really just one operating system. But we know, and people have been reporting to us for thousands of years, that no, there's another operating system here, and that's your true self. But we really can't tell you how to get there intellectually. So let's look at that conundrum and see if we can explore that, explore a way to get there. Okay, any questions about that before I jump ahead? Any questions or comments? All right, let me jump ahead. So we're working with really four aspects of our identity. And really, actually, in terms of the ego, there are three. There's your healthy self that is fairly grounded, rational, makes good decisions, has a sense of yourself and self-esteem and self-actualization, and is able to be in the world, show up in the world and get things done, right? Now, there's another aspect of ourselves where traumas happen, and it could have been in childhood. You could also find trauma, transgenerational trauma or social trauma like wars and hurricanes, where there are parts of us that were wounded and hurt. And they may feel really sad or angry or humiliated and ashamed, but they're buried deep. They're sub-personalities that are parts of us that we may not even realize that we have, but they're there. And they affect the way that we see the world. And then there's another part of us that's the protector of that, the survivor self. And it's trying to defend the wounded self, doesn't want to feel those bad feelings. And it's doing everything it can to deny, defend, redirect, to keep us safe. But the ways that it does that are not always that helpful, right? And you've probably seen that, like, why did I say that? Or why did I act that out? Why did I get so angry? It was really a small thing. I shouldn't, why did I lose it? Anybody ever had that? You wonder why you lost it or why you got so triggered? I mean, I think we all have. Well, that was your survivor self, trying to protect you from some old wound that you may not even realize you had, that you even could have forgotten about. It might even have been at a pre-verbal stage when it landed on you. And so you don't have a story. So if you don't have a story about it, what do? Well, our mind says there's got to be a story around here somewhere. So it picks somebody to represent that story, to represent the bad guy. And then we get all upset at them. But there's a story behind the story, and that story behind the story is something that has nothing to do with the person we're projecting on, something that way back there. And that's where constellation work comes in. We're looking for that story behind the story because we want to bring it to awareness and free ourselves of it. And every time we do that, a little bit of what we've been gripped by that we don't even know usually what we've been gripped by, but we're struggling with it. We step more into more of our true self, pure awareness, pure unbounded awareness. That second operating system is available. Right? That's the pretty cool part. Self-development really is two things, right? You meditate, you experience, you get beyond thought, and you experience pure awareness, absolute being, where what they call Vedic people would call Satchitananda, absolute bliss consciousness resides. It's beyond thought. and you imbue that in your nervous system. But if you may have noticed, every time you gain a little bit of that, also those wounded parts come up, or those survival parts come up that are not our true self, but want to be seen, want to be healed, need to be dealt with. And if we keep pushing them away, not dealing with them, then we get caught up what we call the mistake of the intellect. We identify with something that's not who we really are. Okay? And that's crucial. That misidentification is the cause of a lot of suffering in our life. Okay. Comments, questions? I don't want to move too fast. Okay, just call out if you got anything. So these personal egoic selves, they mask the universal self. The survivor self, the wounded self, right? And there's something I would call, because of those cells, we have a conditioned body mind. Things happen to us, and we have certain conclusions, certain contractions, what we believe about the world. You know, we have our story about the world, but it's just a story. It's not really the reality. It's not really true. But because of those traumas, we're looking out. We're in a subject-object modality. What does that mean, subject-object? You, the subject, is looking for an object which is going to make you feel better. That's subject-object. So you're reaching out. We're reaching out for something, someone, something, a job, a relationship. Man, I'll be happy when I have that. Ever been there? Can't wait to, go on that vacation. Can't wait to, whatever, be with this person. And all my problems will be solved, right? Or we're pushing back against something. Man, I got to get away from this place. Oh my gosh, I got to get away from this person. I got to get away from, this person really is is my nemesis. I can't stand it. I don't want to be around it. And so we have a lot of judgments, and we push back from that aversion. Again, we're identified with something that's not really us, but we think, oh, if I do this, I'll feel better. I'll protect my wounded self, my survival parts. If I yell at this guy in a situation enough, or get me out of here, I'll feel better. I'll protect those parts. Or if I get this person's love, everything will be fine. Well, these fixes, the problem with these kind of fixes is they're temporary. They don't last. You probably noticed that. They don't last. Sometimes they don't even fix anything, right? That you get more in the fire than you do out of it. Because we're faced in the wrong direction. And trauma keeps us frozen in the wrong direction, looking out there for who we are, what we need, how life should be, what life is about. We're in that first operating system, and we're going to be unstable and never able to really be fully grounded, because everything's temporary. Even if it works, it's temporary. And we're looking for the next fix. Here's our challenge. Can we turn around, let go of the subject-object mistake of the intellect, and be aware of awareness that's just aware of itself? No content, not identified with anything. No thoughts in there to identify with. It's just pure awareness. Can we make that movement of letting go, surrendering, because we have to let go and surrender all those objects out there that we're chasing or trying to get away from? Agree to what is, and face in the direction of our true self, our true source. Right? Now, ironically, this is not a mental process. We can try all kinds of ways, and there are all kinds of techniques out there in spiritual, you may even have practiced some of them, to force this, to break the ego, to turn you towards self, to let go of the subpersonalities that we tend to identify with. And some of them help, some of them don't. But ideally, it's really, it's something, if we're just simple, innocent, fully in beginner's mind, no preconceptions, willing to stop and be still and just notice what we notice. It's kind of like that butterfly. It lands on us, or that bird, or that squirrel comes up to us. If we're chasing it, we're using the mind, and it stays away. But if we stop chasing with the mind and just be, then it can arise, it can open up on its own into our awareness. And then we become, as we do this more and more often, we become more established in being this level of awareness, and we can start to act from that in a way that embodies peacefulness and joy and appreciation for whatever it is, whatever's arising. Because we're not identified with a need to get away or a need to have it, to grasp. Okay. Questions about that? Questions about that? Whoop, I lost. So that's what we're up to. We're up to looking and exploring how we can transcend, basically, our egoic self, the survival self, especially the wounded self. Embrace, include, not just feel angry, but love, embrace, include, and transcend, and let go into the just the pure awareness of who we are. That's what we're seeking to do here. Okay, so let me stop screen sharing, come back to the large group. Any questions? Take a breath. Was that clear? Any questions about what I'm talking about? No? Okay, Richard, it's all clear? Okay, so let me ask you, has anybody had that?
Harrison, you need to stop sharing.
It looked like I did that. Let's see. Okay, hold on. Let's see.
Yeah.
Okay, stop share. There we go. Is that stop?
Yes, stop for me.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it might be just your screen, Angelo.
It's possible it is. All right. Okay. Go on, I guess.
Okay, great. So can anybody relate to that true self? Have you had moments or glimpses of just being pure being and not being caught up? Okay, wonderful. See, has had that. Beautiful. So let's explore that. And it's not about being in competition or being more realized than the next person. We're all in this boat together called life. We're all equal beings in an equal universe. I forget who said that, but it was, I think, the Lazy Man's Guide to Enlightenment. So we can all help each other step more into that field, because it's a field. It's an energetic field. In fact, everything everything that's a thing has a field. Just like the earth has an electromagnetic field, all things have fields around them that are energetic. And you and me all have energetic fields. And if we, with intention, want to create a certain field, then we can have someone represent the thing that field would be. So let's, who would like to step into more of your true self? Anybody want to do that? Okay, great. So Bill and Ian, okay, great. All right, we'll start with Ian, and then we'll work our way over to Bill. So great. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to have people represent, Ian, parts of your 4 selves. And we're going to notice what arises for them. Again, no effort. It's effortless. No trying to think it through. The brain does not help us here, or the mind does not help us here, so we send it on vacation or to the beach. So we're just going to ask the people who are representing one of your selves to notice what they notice. And then if there's anything we need to do, anything we need to say to resolve something in some of those selves, so that there's more openness to the true self. That's the process. Does that sound good? Are you up for that? Sound good? Okay.
Before you go on, Ian, do you want me to stop recording?
No, it's fine.
Okay. All right.
All right, and it's, yeah, you can, I guess you can look at this afterwards and see if there's something you didn't remember during the exercise and you want to remember. So that's handy. All right, let's get started with that then. And we're fine on time. We've got plenty of time to explore these concepts, and everyone will have a chance if you want to deepen your being. And I've got some more slides. We can look, this exploration has a lot of levels, but we'll start with the most basic here. All right, so Bill, would you be willing to be one of Ian's cells? Which one would you like to be if you were willing? First, are you willing?
Yes.
Okay, pick one if you would.
I'll be the survival self.
Okay, excellent. All right, excellent. Who else would like to be one of Bill's cells?
Ian's.
Ian's cells. Sorry. Anybody? You don't get hurt. Yeah, all right, great. Richard, what would you like to be? You can let this go once we do the exercise. We just let it go.
Sorry, what were the selves again?
Huh?
What were the selves again?
Okay, Bill's got the survivor, so you've got either the wounded self or the healthy self or the true self.
I'll be the wounded self.
All right, okay, you guys are going for it. That's cool. All right, I love the courage here. All right, so who would like to be the true self or healthy self? Who would like to hold that? Okay, Joe Jeff, what would you like to hold? Which one would you?
I'll represent the healthy self.
Okay, great. And Maria, would you like to be the true self?
Sure, but I just forgot the difference between the healthy and the true self.
Okay, well, let me do this. I'm not going to tell you right now, I'll tell you later, but just notice what you notice and we'll see. We'll see what shows up with Joe Jeff and we'll see what shows up with you, and we're not going to think about it. So what we're going to do is we're representing Ian's different parts, and I'm working with my intention right now to put you into that part. And so just notice, here it is, all you have to do, notice what you notice in your body right now. It's totally somatic. You don't have to think. Thinking just gets in the way. It's an effortless process, and just presence in your field. What do you notice? Could be emotions, could be sensations, could be some thoughts, but you're just observing and noticing, not trying to create anything. All right, Richard, you seem like something's showing up for you. What do you notice?
I've got a feeling in my gut.
Feeling in your gut.
Yeah,
What are you feeling in your gut?
it's just like a dull sensation. I don't know if it's something trying to speak to me or...
Okay. Trying to speak to you, you have a sense of what it might be trying to say.
don't want to go too much into her head.
Okay, but speak from that place in your gut. Is there an emotion there?
Something hurt. Something's wounded.
Do you notice an emotion right now in your body or from your gut?
No, that's just a message that I'm getting from my gut center.
Okay. Feel into it and a little deeper. And just be with it right now, and we'll come back to you. See if things evolve. Yeah, just give it space. Give that place in your gut space, and we'll come back. Okay, Bill, you were the survivor, so what do you notice?
In my mind, I'm already thinking, okay, what's going to happen? A little bit anxious, a little bit on edge. Okay, I got to be ready to protect and to defend, and so I'm trying to anticipate. So I'll be ready.
All right. Okay. Where do you notice that anywhere in your body? An anticipation?
Well, the anxiety, yeah, it's more like around the stomach area, but it starts, I'm feeling like first in my head, like I'm thinking, okay, I got to get ready, I got to, and then if I go down to the body, I go, yeah, there's a little bit of, unease in the stomach area. Yeah.
Okay, just notice that unease, that anxiety, and just we'll see how it evolves, but just stay with it. So thank you. Ian, does that make sense? Do you get kind of anxious about being ready?
Yes, it's kind of almost makes too much sense.
Okay. Why would it be too much sense?
Well, I guess to start with Richard, like as soon as I like tried to like turn off my mind, which I had trouble with, I felt the feeling in my gut, which I would call like tension, and the woundedness. Like immediately started thinking about my father, which is like a very deep relationship there. And like to be honest, I was like trying to like fight back tears about like that relationship.
You don't have to
And,
fight
like,
anything back here.
And pretty much like what like Richard just described, like my first feeling, which was kind of like, I was kind of like, what? Like that's unreal kind of. And then as a whole, I was with Bill like survival is a big issue. I felt like unsafe a lot of my life. And I made a lot of my life choices have been like seeking safety, which there's a lot of like fear and anxiety around like the world we live in.
Okay.
So it's kind of like almost way too accurate. It's kind of freaky, to be honest.
All right. Cool. What do you notice in your body right now? Can you keep breathing? Can you stay in your body?
Well, I feel like I just got like tension in my gut is like slowly kind of marinating up.
Okay. Can you feel your feet on the floor? Can you feel your butt in the seat?
As soon as you said feet, that was like the first time I thought about my feet.
All right.
And I did.
Good.
My butt, not as much.
All right, just try to feel yourself in the chair, and look around, and everyone, let's turn on our camera and look at Ian and really be there with him. Total acceptance, total appreciation for taking this, risk, doing this work. And we're all working actually right now. We're all working because this is a human condition, Ian. So unconditional positive regard, appreciation, no judgment, all acceptance. Just take, can you look around, Ian, and see that in people's faces? Can you see the positive regard, appreciation? Yeah, Joe Jeff has got some positive regard for you. You're happy for it.
Definitely.
And,
Definitely.
Good. Let's just rest in that a little bit, and everyone will be representing that positivity. Everyone doesn't have another role, they'll be representing it. C and Tana and Jen and Malik. Malik, is that how you say it? Malik? So they're all representing that positive holding. And I wonder about Angelo. Would he be your father? Would he? Not that you're in a tense relationship, but could he represent your father?
Could he represent him?
Yeah, right.
Right now, yeah, sure. When he first said it, I was like, hell no. But in reality, yeah.
All right. So let's let him hold that energy of your father. And we're don't worry, we'll clear this so you don't have to deal with something that's not real afterwards. But are you okay with that, Angelo? All right. So notice, Angelo, just notice what you notice right now as Ian's father. There's something here that wants to be seen, that wants to be acknowledged. With great compassion, we hold the father son with great compassion. And Joe Jeff is the healthy self. Do you have anything you're noticing? Anything you want us, words of encouragement for Ian, or?
So when we first started the exercise and everybody, turned their intentions to their specific roles, the first thing or emotion that came to mind was gratitude, just gratitude in the moment, gratitude being around, being in this scenario, even to go through these exercises and having a conversation, because ultimately is connected to, you know, where we all want to go, where, you know, in the sense it's exercise where Ian wants to go, doing things like this and like being around like-minded people, learning, growing. It's that initial gratitude. And then I would just say I felt the sense of calm, you know, being, I would say, grounded or rooted. You know, just again, just in the moment of we're all here, we're all going through this exercise. It's kind of like a, you know, a yoga flow. We all stop for a second just to be still. And then in terms of sensation, and I think this will go hand in hand with stillness, just like, you know, feeling like a light breeze or feeling like the lightness in your hands, just being still enough to, you know, things like that.
Okay, beautiful. So Ian, take that in. It's a lot, very supportive. I hear a lot of support from your healthy self, a lot of capacity too. I hear from your healthy self. So that's wonderful. You can support yourself. That's great. And what do you know I'm noticing, Angela? And we'll come back to you, Maria. We won't forget you. What are you noticing, Angela?
What I'm noticing is wanting to express as a father, you know, I want you to know that, you know, I'm alone. You know, I died alone. You weren't here. And, you know, I felt very alone. I feel very alone.
Ian, is your father deceased?
Yeah.
Okay. And when did he die?
In March.
Oh, so recently. Recently. Okay. Let's just, all right. Well, as a group, so this actually is something important. So let's have space for that. There's still grief here. There's still grieving taking place here. And you know, I think there's still some letting go here too, right? Letting go, letting dad go on, and finding some peace around your relationship. So let's just make space for what's showing up in the field right now, which feels like, well, I won't, what do you know is showing up when we talk about your father, Ian? What shows up? I can feel it, but I think better you say something.
I mean, the easiest way is just like deep sadness,
All right.
abandonment.
Sadness, abandonment.
I don't know, like just also deep rooted pain, ancestral pain.
Pain.
And just like, I don't know, the question why. Does that make sense?
Yes. Well, and I think there'd be some anger there too, right? Some upset.
I'm pretty good at like blocking myself from my emotions, to be honest.
Well, you sound like you're pretty in touch with them right now. So we won't just allow what's rising. We'll just give space for, and there's all of that. There's some turmoil, some anger, some pain, shame, some disappointment, and we just need to give space for that. And I'm before we go on, we're going to do something with your dad here that will be important. Maria, do you have anything from the true self that you want to say to Ian?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I immediately felt a sense of deep ease, and I began smiling, just an easy smile, and with that came tears.
Okay.
And there was some sense of being a witness to all.
Mm-hmm.
And the words, I mean, a question came, which is this true? Is this true?
Okay. You know,
like not to myself, but to whatever I was witnessing.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
And do you know what it is? You're wondering what's true?
I imagine it more of from being the true self and noticing that a part of me is experiencing this or that. Right. This question of, is this true? becomes a resource or a lens to read some things, you know,
Okay.
not questioning in the sense of, oh, you know, like questioning it, doubting it, but more of a, let's check in and see if this is true.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So let me translate this for you, Ian, and just see if you can you connect with Maria? Can you see her and take her in? Can you see her in the looking at you? Okay. So she's representing a part of you that is totally okay, even though you had a difficult relationship with your father, even though there's a lot of pain and upset there, and then self-doubt because of that, right? There's self-doubt for you and your worthiness. I don't feel my father's blessings, you know. Are you okay? And the stories that you're telling yourself, this part of you knows they're not true. They know that you are fine, just as you are perfect as you are okay as you are. You're more than enough. You, Ian, are more than enough. You've always been more than enough, and you always will be more than enough. And yes, you had a difficult relationship with your father, and as you said, he wasn't there for you, or you felt abandoned by him, right? So we acknowledge, and you bear witness, and this is what's really important. Everyone is bearing witness to your challenges in your father relationship. And there's no judgment, there's just holding with compassion. And your father feels alone wherever he is on the other side, so there's some lack of resolution for him. So just know, this is important, you're not looking to your father right now for something. You're looking to your true self and knowing you are enough. In other words, you're stepping out of subject object. There's dad. I'm resisting him, but I'm also yearning for something from him. That's tough. You've got both things going on with the same person. But beyond that, if you turn around, no longer face your father, but face Maria, who's your true self, you know you're enough. You had a difficult relationship, but that doesn't stop you from knowing you're enough. And it's not conceptual. There's no conceptuality here. It's beyond concepts. So just let that truth, the ultimate truth of enoughness, breathe that in, and we're all holding that for you. Everyone's holding that ultimate truth of your enoughness. Little Ian, you know, who was reaching out to dad or mom and wasn't received, you know, holding the truth. There's pain there, there's hurt feelings there, but the truth is, Ian, you're enough. We're all knowing that truth for you. And you no longer need to be limited in any way by those beliefs that aren't true, or those stories that aren't true. So we're going to take another step here, if this is okay. Are you okay so far, Ian? Thank you. This is big. This is really big work. You're doing really incredible work here. And everyone is benefiting. We all have, you know, many of us weren't seen by our fathers or seen enough. So look at Angela, who's now holding that energy of your father, and just say, you are my father, I'm your son. Just say that to him.
You are my father, I'm your son.
You'll always be my father, I'll always be your son.
You'll always be my father, and I will always be your son.
I didn't understand, and I still don't understand, why you weren't there for me.
I didn't understand, and I still don't understand why you are not there for me.
But I still have, even so, I still have a place for you in my heart.
Even so, I still have a place for you in my heart.
Yeah, take that, feel that place of love for your father in your heart. And thank you for the gift of life. For the gift of life.
Thank you for the gift of life.
I take that blessing, which is a blessing, and the other things I leave with you. So you're carrying some burdens for your father, and you can take the blessing, the gifts of life, and whatever other blessings he gave you, and whatever is not yours to carry, you give back to your father. Right? This is real important. I can feel it in the field. This is a big thing. You've been burdened by some of your dad's stuff, and you just need to give it back with love. You took it on with love. So just say to him, I took on with love some of your stuff.
I took on with love some of your stuff.
Your pain, your shame, your hurt, I took it on.
Your pain, your shame, your hurt, I took it on.
Out of love.
Out of love.
And in love, in love for you, I give it back.
And in love for you, I give it back.
And I affirm I am lovable no matter what.
And I affirm I am lovable no matter what.
And worthy, a worthy son, no matter what.
And a worthy son, no matter what.
Okay, so feel your worthiness. And Angela, can you see Ian now as a father? Can you see him?
Yes.
Just say to him, I see you, son.
I see you, son.
And I'm proud of you.
And I'm very proud of you.
And I take back what's mine.
I take back what's mine.
I'm the big one here, and it's mine to carry.
And it's mine to care.
Carry, mine to carry.
And what's mine to carry.
It's mine to carry.
It's mine to carry, not yours.
So feel into that, Ian. Your father sees you, blesses you. He takes back. He had his stress and his trauma that got in the way. But where he is now, he can be his best version of himself, which empowers you to be the best version of yourself. And to have, if you become a father, have children, you'll be a good father. Okay, and just take in, look around and see the support. Everyone is supporting you, voting your victory, appreciating the work you're doing, healing the relationship with your father, and just there for you with love, appreciation. Just take it in, look around, be present, be in your body. And if you need to let go of some pain, they're there. They can help you take it, release it. So you can just let go of whatever old pain and other feelings that are difficult. And take in some love and appreciation. Let that little Ian take in some love and appreciation. Maria's giving you lots of love and appreciation now. See it, look at it, take it in, take it in. This is, this is the hard part for people taking in, right? Not so hard giving sometimes, but it can be hard receiving. So take it in. Feel the loving support. Okay. Okay, and let's check now with the wounded self, Richard, that you're representing. How are you doing? Hope you're taking in some of this love too.
Yeah, no, I'm sort of the feeling in my stomach has definitely died down a little bit. It's still kind of like there, but it's not kind of dull and as intense as it was. So yeah, I think I have taken in some of that.
So Ian, see yourself being there for that part that Richard's representing. Yeah, we all have wounded parts, and I'll be there for that part of me. Just see yourself, notice, affirm, yeah, I'll be there for that part, that wounded self. I won't abandon it like I felt abandoned. I'll love and appreciate it, even I won't make it wrong. Because we tend to judge ourselves, right, for not being perfect. But hey, that's what makes us human. So see and nurture that part that Richard is representing. Can you see him, Richard? Can you see him? It's hard to look right now, maybe.
No, I can see.
You can see Richard, you can see Ian, okay.
Yeah.
All right, so feel that you're supporting. And look at Joe Jeff. He's pretty high functioning. So acknowledge that you're pretty high functioning. Look at Maria, she's very high functioning. So look at that. You've got a lot to function with. Take that in. Take that part in. You got a lot of resources you can take care of yourself with. So you draw on them. And look at Bill Kelly. Bill, how are you doing? How's the survivor doing? Still anxious?
No, I can see that, things are in their place as they're meant to be. And that I don't have to be so, so on guard and so vigilant.
Alert. Yeah.
Yeah, and alert, ready for the worst.
Okay,
I have to get into action. I don't have to do that. Yeah, that's nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Ian, this is again, you're high functioning. You notice when you get anxious, you can do a reality check. Hey, maybe I don't need to be in that high of alert. I can step back a little bit from this. I can have this part step back a little bit, give it another job. Give it a job to go out and have fun or something, instead of being a worry wart. All right? Give it another job. Go enjoy some music or something. All right, so feel that. All right. Anyone else have something they'd like to say to Ian? Feel they have something to say, or some important, something came to you for Ian? This is for Ian. Anyone? Yeah, Joe Jeff.
So as soon as we started the exercise and turned our direction on the relationship between him and his father. So my father passed away about like 2009. So like as soon as we started the exercise, I kind of knew what type of road we were headed down. But just to see, Harrison, you made the point that, it's still kind of a fresh thing, and, just having the march is still fresh. It's still energy that's, unresolved one way or another. But just that whole process of, taking a step back and saying, this relationship, and it's like, now there's things undone. Angelo's point to him feeling alone as the representation is kind of like, it's more than one side of the coin. It's more than just how Ian's affected, and even further than that, but he has siblings, a spouse he left behind. It's like a community of hurt, really, when one person goes. So I have to get off track, but just as we went through those emotions, and that's something that I had to personally do over years and kind of figure out how to have those conversations.
Okay. Joe Jeff, let's do this. I can see you're working with some of your own issues here, and let's give everybody space to go into a breakout, so you can talk about how did this affect you, and is there something there in something unresolved, in your family that this evoked. And we'll give everyone space to do that, and so you can feel more complete. Anyone else have anything? And thank you for your sharing. Anyone have anything specifically for Ian? Just looking at Ian and what you want to say, either as a part to Ian or just as you, but you're speaking to Ian. Okay. Well, I think Ian, are you complete? How are you?
Yeah. I will say I was not ready for this. But
we don't know what's going to show up, but you were ready for it on some level. Yeah.
Definitely, definitely. I'm appreciative for sure, though.
Well, thank you for your courage and the beautiful work you did, and your vulnerability. And you know, it touched everyone here, I'm sure, in a good way. So, does any part of you check into your parts, Ian? Does any part need something right now? We might lose Richard, so if you're gonna ask for something for the wounded part, you got to do it now.
No, I think for now, if anything, just like some reflection.
Okay.
And you know, I also don't want to like take any time from anyone else who might do this for.
All right, good.
So.
Well, just know that you don't need to try to figure anything out here. Just there's no need to, again, it's not conceptual, but it's on a deeper level, much more that being soul level that we worked. And so everyone was there at that non-ego level, non-personal level there with you. So we had a large collective, really lovely field of a human spirit beyond the minds running this way and that. So let me, yes, please come out of role. If you were still in role, come out. You're no longer the father, the wounded self, the healthy self, the true self, you know, survival self. You can come out of role and be present in that way. So anybody still feeling Bill? Everybody out of role? Everybody feel like you're back to yourself? Good. All right, good. And anything you need to say, you would like to share with the larger group, that anything meaningful for you that'd be nice, you feel like you'd like to share?
Did you say anyone or Ian?
Yeah, anyone like
anyone. Okay.
And too, you're part of the team here, yes. So anyone wants to share, based on your conversation, if there's something you'd like to share. You don't have to, but you got space for it. I was fascinated that you guys are in Ecuador, Ian and Tamara, and I know. See, are you down there too? Looks like you're in the jungle somewhere. All right, so that's pretty cool. Vilcabamba, I think I know someone down there. Nori Huddle, I think she's around that area. So fantastic.
Well, yeah, I'll say something real quick. Like I said before, I definitely was not expecting or ready for this. I didn't know what was gonna happen, and it was really powerful. I was shocked by kind of how accurate each part of myself was, which is just I guess that's the universal energy field that exists that I forget about in my day-to-day life, and I just kind of to see that in effect to some extent was kind of wow, we really are all connected, like they say. So I guess it's my first example of that. I can point and whatever, but yeah, it was deep. And I thank you. I thank everybody for being here. And yeah, it's just, I don't know. That's all I got. I don't know what to say. I'm kind of speechless right now, but I'm very appreciative.
Well, thank you, Ian. And yeah, you're right. This is the universal field. And so, yeah, whatever's there in the field, if we have that intention and it needs to show up, it'll show up, even though it may be buried very deep in the subconscious. But there really isn't an individual subject object here, duality. We really are this field of non-duality. And so one of the ways it's languaged in this work is the knowing field. Well, the knowing field, because you can know stuff, but it's a non-conceptual knowing. And that's the same as the unified field, the quantum field, the field of all possibilities, and a lot of names for it. The field of the absolute, but we're all talking the same thing. It's not in the relative, it's not in the thinking mind, it's a whole system that what's so funny is, think about it, people known about this for thousands of years. Patanjali's was 5,000 years ago. But we don't really have it in our society to train or access. We focus more on, well, if you want to be fulfilled, you got to do this, or you got to stay away from that. And so we're caught in that subject-object duality. And somehow this knowledge doesn't filter down in our society. I don't know why, but it amazes me. It really does. Because it's there. It's there. It's who you are. It's there. It's accessible to you. And Maria, do you, as you were holding the true self, anything you feel a little more accessibility there? You feel a little more place to be in no thought? Do you feel something?
Sure. Yeah, it was great to connect with that part. I was sharing with Joe Jeff that I wanted to be the wounded part, and and so I did get this to be this other part, and it was quite yeah, I'm happy I was able to access it quite quickly, and as you said, not to think about it, but to allow whatever came to be with that. Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, here's a suggestion, and what I would suggest. Let me throw up that share screen again. Something that you can do as. Can you see this? Can everyone see this? Is it showing up? Let's see. Did that show up?
I can see it. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah, good. Okay. So take some 3x5 cards and write up those 4 things and lay them out on the floor and just walk the bases. Be your healthy self. Think about something you're dealing with, that you're struggling with, that you're either moving towards, grasping, or trying to get the heck away from. And then step into your survivor self and then your wounded self and just notice what's there. You can do this for yourself. Again, it's effortless. You don't try to role play. You don't try to have a preconception. Who knows what will show up, right? Because it's stuff that'll be accessed from your subconscious. And then once you make that, you run through that either once or twice, noticing what you notice, step in the place of the true self and just be totally compassionate towards all those other parts. You're worthy. You don't need to be in grasping mode or avoidance mode to be worthy, to be whole, to be complete. So notice what shifts. Does the survivor self, all the protective mechanisms back down a little bit? Does the wounded self feel a little bit better, more integrated? Can your healthy self kind of say, yeah, this is great? But where they all rest, all those parts are ego parts, and they all rest in that place of awareness, aware of itself without content. And so as you go through the day, your spiritual practice, your sadhana, as the Indians say, the East Indians, your sadhana is just to notice the content that's in your mind. And just separate yourself, unhook from that content, whatever those stories are, beliefs are, unhook from that and be with awareness. Because, most likely those stories aren't true. You're spending a lot of time headed in the place of duality and subject object. Step back in the place of just pure knowing, awareness aware of itself without content. And then notice what happens when you do act. Because if we're acting from our survivor self or wounded self, chances are we're messing things up. Chances are it's not going to turn out very well. When I've gotten triggered and I act in an angry or afraid or shut down or grandiose or whatever I'm doing there, it makes a mess of things. And it's trying to defend me, but it's doing things that maybe worked 50 years ago, but they don't work now. And healthy self, it's great. I mean, it's what we do to get things done in the world. But when it's supported and springs from the true self, that place of just pure being, pure awareness, then it's in alignment with nature. we're in alignment with nature, and the support of nature makes a lot of difference. We'll be a lot happier. We'll notice some sense of things are working out as they should. We're letting go of it's got to be this way and it can't be that way. We're letting go, we're agreeing to whatever it is. And so we don't have to burn up a lot of energy resisting or grasping. We let go and let God, let the true self. So that's a little homework or a little exercise you can do to ingrain this. And then maybe one day you'll just wake up and you're always your true self. And nothing gets in the way of that. That's the big day. A real big shift in perspective. Okay, well, we might as well bring things to an end unless there's something else someone wants to say, wants to do. I think we're probably, let me stop sharing here. I think we're probably about constellated out here. Any other questions, comments? Yeah.
Yeah, I have a question.
Yeah.
So like say I or anyone here would like to like do constellation work in the future with you or a colleague, or
Yeah.
like how would that look?
Well, you can email me and I'll put you on my workshop list. I do individual sessions. I do group workshops. So I work both ways with people online, and we can arrange something. I'll just put you on my. I think I shared my my email, right? teambuilder@msn.com. So either way, I'll let you know about a workshop when I schedule one. I'm doing a training right now called Systems Healer, and we're having a blast with I think 10 or 12 people, 10 people. But it's all about healing. To heal the organizational or social system, you got to heal your own personal system, because it's like a fractal. Whatever's showing up in the organization or family or the society, it's there in your system, and vice versa. So
Yeah, and I'll just add, there's numerous opportunities to do constellation work. You know, if you just simply put like systematic constellations on a screen, you know, in Google, you will find many people that you know, either they do one-offs or they actually have like, you know, series and this, that, and the other thing.
yeah, that's the point,
it's been
Angelo.
around for a while.
If you go to Facebook and look it up on Facebook, there's all kinds of groups and they're advertising all kinds of workshops. And so there's a big community out there. And interestingly enough, I think in Latin America, it's more prevalent than you find in the US. Seems to be more interest there, because I think people are more connected with their families. So Europe and South America, there tends to be more acceptance of this work. But
You have an opportunity to do face-to-face work. It's very powerful.
Well, great. Well, thank you so much, Angelo, for inviting me. Delightful to be here with you all. And like I said, everybody was a great group. Everyone jumped in. Yeah, Maria, question, or are you just waving goodbye?
I was waving goodbye and
Waving goodbye. Okay.
So I put in the chat, we have like a sort of a private community, virtual community, and many of you here are on it. But if you're not, you know, copy the link and join us. We hope to have nurture each other as change makers, people that want to change the world.
Fantastic. Yeah. Well, be the change you want to see in others. So this is where we start. Start with ourselves. Good place to start. Only place we can start. So, all right. Well, thank you guys. All right. Have a great weekend.
A little early.
And happy times down there in Ecuador. And we'll hope to see you again.